I really didn't think it would happen. I didn't believe in him. I
Yeah.
lost faith at the end. Completely lost
Yep.
faith.
Understandably
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the RE Junkies podcast. We are here today with Kathy Byrnes. She has graced us with a few more minutes, and this is what we call the bonus episode section. So, this bonus episode is going to be just diving into a specific deal. So, we're going to go into a case study here, and here are the rules, Kathy. So, for this episode, we have 3 prompts. You can pick one of them, and the 3 prompts are: what is your hardest deal or a horror story? What's your most successful deal? Or what's the craziest story you have in real estate? So which one are you going with?
Crazy.
All
Of
right,
course.
let's hear it.
So I was golfing with my daughter in Hilton Head, and we're on the golf course, had a couple of drinks. And this couple, we run into them at one of the tees, and they ask us where we're from. I talk to everybody wherever I am. I build up conversations, and I'm always looking for real estate. So anyway, the gal said, "Where are you from?" I said, "Lake Norman." And she goes, "Oh, I was thinking about buying a waterfront home there." I said, "Oh my God, you found the perfect person. I'm a waterfront specialist of Lake Norman." And she goes, "You are?" I go, "Yeah." And so she goes, "Well, give me your information." I said, "Okay." So I gave her mine, but I did not get hers. I forgot to get it. And I got this cool app, which was an app I forgot to tell you about, which is Blink, Blinq. But anyway, so she takes my information. I forget because I've been drinking. We go home. We're back a month later. I get a phone call from the woman, and she says, "Hey, remember me? I met you on the golf course." I go, "Yes, I do." I didn't. And she goes, "I'm the one who wanted to buy the waterfront home." I said, "Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember that." And so she goes, "Well, I found one." I go, "Great." She goes, "Well, I think we're going to fly in and see it." So I'm thinking regular commercial airfare, right? I said, "Well, let me look it up." I'm sitting here at my computer. I look it up. I said, "Hey, girl, we're talking 4.5 million. I really like your style." And so, she goes, "Yeah, we're going to fly in from Texas on our private plane, and we'll come in just for a couple hours. We'll check out the house." I go, "Okay." And I said, "They're going to want proof of funds, just so you know." And she goes, "No problem." And so I proceed to call the agent who's got the property. I said, "Hey, I got a couple flying in. This is when they're flying in." And she goes, "Do you have proof of funds?" I said, "They're getting it to me." And I said, "But they're flying in on a private plane." I said, "That's not cheap. That's probably a $30,000 ticket. So I'm going to pick them up at the airport." So I'm feeling comfortable with them off the bat. I knew the agent, so she trusted me, but I did not have that proof of funds. Big mistake. So anyway, they do fly in, and it was very exciting because I love to fly. So, and it's a private plane, so it was very exciting. So I pick them up. They're in my car. We drive to the house, and they're a real nice couple. And she loves it. He hates it. Oh, and he wanted to live on a golf course. He needed to live on a golf course. So it's a waterfront golf course home, and it's in
Oh, perfect.
oh, it's perfect. And I'm thinking the house is amazing. I'm loving it. And he goes, "No, I don't like this particular one on the golf course." And so we go out to lunch, and they get on the plane and they go home. So I'm thinking, okay, he doesn't like it. Darn it. That's over. And she goes, "Well, no, I did find another one. This one's 7 million, and I want this $10 million worth of land." And I'm just like mind blown. I'm like, did I just jump into the Holy Grail or what on that golf course? And so she's getting all this stuff. So bouncing back and forth, not necessarily staying with it. And then all of a sudden she finds one for 1.4. She loves it, wants to make an offer on it. I said, "Okay." She goes, "Just go check it out and FaceTime me on it." I go, "Okay." So I do that. And so I said, "I got to have the proof of funds though." So they give me a proof of funds for the 1.4, which was great. So then we were under contract, and he's supposed to send the due diligence check. It bounces. Oh dear, that's a problem.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So then I'm like, "Hey," and he hands me some real about, "Oh, that's ridiculous. I'm going to get that money in there." So the check is resubmitted. You can't resubmit it. He has to send a new check. Banks don't let you resubmit a bounce check, at least anymore.
Right.
So
Right.
especially, and I think it was $10,000 at the time. So it wasn't even a lot of money. So we got another $10,000. This one clears. The other agent's like, what the hell's going on here? And I'm like, I don't really know. I think he's really good. I'm trying to build it all up. They're very nice people. And so now I get all these inspections done and blah, blah, blah. We're moving forward. And uh, it's time for us to, the DD happens and we're going forward and we're going to closing. And I'm he's not getting the information to the lender, so the loan hasn't even been started, and we're about to cross due diligence date. And I'm like, buddy, you got to get him the stuff. And he goes, don't tell my wife; she'll be mad at me. I said, I don't like that. What? Don't tell your wife. Don't get me in the middle of a
Don't put me in
marriage
the
here,
middle of this.
right?
Yeah.
And he goes, no, no, just I'll get it. I'll make it happen. I'll make it happen. I said, all right, buddy, you got to get on this. So I said, if we go past this date, you're locked in, and you've got 50,000 now in earnest money. You're about to lose $60,000 if you don't go forward. Not to mention, you're really going to tick these people off because they're moving forward thinking you're closing on this deal, and I'm knowing stuff they don't know, and I'm feeling like a total ass. And so I'm talking to the lender every single day saying, what's going on? He goes, I don't know. Your guy's nuts. He won't give me any information. He's got assets where all this money's pouring in, but it's pouring out just as fast. And so we are like, I end up having to go out of town, and it's getting close to the closing date. I'm at a Mike Ferry event, and this guy, I'm calling him. I'm like, buddy, you gotta, you gotta get the things in. Finally, we get the loan approved. He's supposed to wire in the money. It's like $350,000. And the day before closing, he goes, there's no money in my account. And the lender goes, the money was there yesterday because we approved it. We did the clear to close. The money was there yesterday. So the guy says to me, the IRS took it out because my wife hasn't paid her taxes and they swooped it out, which was all bullshit, which I did not know. Sorry, you allowed to swear in here?
Yeah, yeah,
Anyway.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So it was all bullshit. He was the one he forged his wife's information, started other businesses, got in trouble with the IRS. It was his deal. He didn't, that's why he didn't want his wife to know. So he's not telling his wife, and he's saying, don't tell her why we're not closing. I go, what the hell, buddy? Do not put me in the middle of this deal. And I'm in Florida at a Mike Ferry thing, and I'm freaking out. We're supposed to close the day when I get back. I'm trying to tell the agent what's happened. I said, here's the dilemma. I don't tell him that I figured that he's the one causing all the problem. I said, well, the IRS took all the money out of the account, but he's got it. He's going to have it for me tomorrow. He's got another guy who's going to send him the money. We check with the lender, even though he's getting that money sent in, it's going to be okay. So I'm thinking we're going to pull it out. But this is going on day after day after day. It's dragging out, dragging out. We are now past our time frame where we are even in contract. We are past it. And the
Oh
other agent is
no.
telling me, I don't believe this guy. I said, hang in there, hang in there. I said, this guy, I think he's a little con artist who manages to make it happen. And so if you can hang with me. And so finally, it's the sellers have said, we're done. We're not waiting anymore. And so I tell the guy, I said, they're not waiting anymore because they don't believe your bullshit anymore. They don't believe it. And your wife is beating me up to tell her why this is happening because she thinks it's the attorney. She's ready to call the attorney. You've created a cluster, such a cluster.
Oh my gosh.
And so I'm not calling the wife back because I don't know what to say to her. I can't, I, she would pick it up in my tone that it's your husband that's the asshole here. So anyway, at the final friggin' hour, the money comes through. He did it. He friggin' did it. But the wife, when I finally talked to her, she goes, I'm going to call up that paralegal. My husband said that she just screwed up that file so bad and she's the reason for this. And I'm going to have her fired. I go, no, 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 no. Don't do that. Don't do that. I
Yeah,
said, could we just
let's not do that.
forgive her? Could we forgive her? We closed. Could we? They are not even in town. They live someplace else. So
Yeah.
now they got the moving truck. Also, she had the moving truck coming and we weren't even closing. The furniture's on its
Oh,
way.
Oh, no.
I'm like,
oh
oh my
no.
gosh. And so, oh, I gotta watch the time. Okay, so anyway, I didn't even want to be at the house when they got there. I was petrified. I didn't want to talk to her. Because I knew all the dirt. So I put the key in a lockbox and gave him the combination. I said, I have to be out of town today. Could you just, if there's anything, I already walked through the house. I gave him the whole thing on it. I did a FaceTime video. It was beautiful. But I never wanted to see him again. He's one of those I never want to see again. But she keeps calling me up and wanting to buy $5 million and $10 million properties, and I'm like, I don't think,
No.
no. But I
Yeah.
don't want to tell her because then again I'm telling her. Oh, he
Well,
would
those are the
say,
ones. Yeah, that's like what we were talking about earlier. Was like there are some people you just don't want to work with.
right? She
So how
calls
many
me.
days? How many days past closing did you guys have to go?
We went, I think, 13 days. No,
Oh
no,
my
we went past it because
gosh.
14 days was allowed on the
Yeah, it used to be
contract
14.
then. It's not
Mm-hmm.
anymore. And we were at 17 days. We were
Holy
completely out of contract.
cow.
We redid the closing documents 3 times. 3 times. And so she had to sign them too. She has to sign them, and that's why she's thinking that the attorney's office is totally screwing up. I'm like, "Oh, your
Oh,
husband."
Oh boy.
And I'm thinking, "You know that this guy is a rascal. He's
You have
definitely
to.
done things like this before."
Yeah. She
She's
has to
just
know.
she has to know. She's a stay-at-home wife with a million dogs and very nice lady. I really liked her. And honestly, he was very nice too. But he was just full of shit. Full of shit.
Just full of shit.
Full of
Oh
shit.
my
how
gosh.
many years into your real estate career was this?
That just happened last year.
Oh.
Yeah. One thing I will tell, that nugget was how I got them because I talk to everybody. If I'm in line at the grocery store, I don't necessarily tell them I'm a realtor. I'm curious about who they are.
Mhm.
People tell me everything. By the time I get back to the car and somebody's in the car, I go, "You won't believe what this person went through or that person." And they'll go, "You always get everybody's story." I'm
Yeah.
interested in people. Be interested in people.
Be
Then I'll ask
interested,
you.
not interesting. Yeah. People. I mean,
Yes.
people will open up and share all the time.
Oh,
All the
tons.
time. It's so weird. Like I had kind of a similar situation, not quite as extreme, but it also happened last year with like it was supposed to be a cash buyer, and then all of a sudden there was like a lender creeping in, and I'm like, who is this? And then you're as the agent, like you're in like freak out, like juggling, hold everything together mode, and you're like, I know something's off here, but like I have to do my best to try to keep everything together. I'm not lying to people, but I'm just like there there are certain things you're like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but also this is what they're telling me, so I'm going to go with it.
Yep. Yep. It was
And it's
crazy.
way too late to fire your clients at that point. You're
Oh,
already under contract. Like I can't walk away from my client there. Like we're going to get this thing done. We're going forward.
oh,
We're
we're
going to
gonna
get this
make
thing to the
this.
closing
I
table.
really didn't think it would happen. I didn't believe in him. I
Yeah.
lost faith at the end. Completely lost
Yep.
faith.
Understandably
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought,
Yeah,
oh,
now they want $1 million or a $5 million property. You're like, I don't think so. I don't think
yeah.
so.
I didn't say that to him yet. Prove it to me
Right.
you really want it. Let's see a bigger deal here.
Oh.
Exactly.
I don't know how he didn't have a heart
Exactly.
attack because he was so stressed out over it all. I said, "Oh, buddy," I said, "What you do to your world? I don't know why you do this."
Seriously. I mean, let's bring things back down to a little bit of normal here so we can keep the blood pressure at a manageable level.
Yeah, because he was in his 50s, and I'm
Yeah.
thinking, "Buddy, and not necessarily healthy." And I'm thinking, "Wow, the stress level of this game that you play. Stop,
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
world." Anyway, that's my story. I'm sticking
Seriously.
to it.
I mean, I feel even more that there needs to be a reality show around your life now.
And what'd you call it? What'd you call it? All things Kathy or
I don't even remember. Life of Cat. I don't even know what it was, but if you
we'll
ever
come up
take
with a
off, I'm gonna
we'll
be
come up
your
with a
number
title.
one fan.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, we'll come up with a title. HGTV, if you're listening, let's get Kathy a show. Seriously, endless entertainment.
Oh
Thank
my
you.
All right. Well, Kathy, thank you for coming on, and thank you again for agreeing to stick around for this bonus episode. If you guys are listening out there to the RE Junkies podcast, this is a bonus episode with Kathy Byrnes to hear her entire interview, how she got started in real estate, some advice she would give to new agents, experienced agents, and just pure gold the entire way. If you want to follow her career path, be sure to check that episode out. It should be right under this bonus episode. And you can also connect with Kathy Byrnes on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Those links are in the show notes. Again, this is the RE Junkies podcast. If you are not subscribing, you can subscribe anywhere on your favorite podcast platform or on YouTube. We will catch you, junkies, next time on the only real estate podcast of its kind.